so I'm on to day 2 of the Artsy Bohemian Robin Dudley House challenge, and it's to do 30 pages of art journal, each one to be done in 30 minutes and to do that for 30 days. So today I've been inspired by my garden. We've had some lovely evenings, and you know when you get that lovely golden sunsetty evening glow in your garden, that's what I've been inspired by. So I've got this book. It's called The Concise British Flora in Colour, and I want to have a look. I got this on. I'm going to do that with the pinks and yellows. Or should I do that one? Ooh, this one, this page. I've torn that out of there, and I'm going to tear it diagonally across. So I'm working in my Dina Wakley journal. Looks like this. Ledger journal. So I'm going to tear this. Now I know I've just folded that, but I'm not bothered about it folding across the line. I've literally just done that so that I get the half and half split there. And I'm just going to use some Fabri-Tac, and I'm going to glue this onto my page. Now I have learned, because before I did sort of a 2-page spread thinking that was 1 page, and it isn't. 1 page is literally what it says on the tin, 1 page. So I'm just doing this left hand side here today, but the theme that I'm using today will sort of be continued onto the other side tomorrow. Well, it will complement it. So I'm just using some Fabri-Tac because it will dry quickly. I'm going to put that into there. So that's there. So it's my mark making basket. So I have all sorts of bits in here, things that I think I can make marks with. So I've got some bubble wrap. I'm just going to tear myself some off, and I'm going to start. I've got some acrylic paint. This is quite a dark sort of fuchsia colour. I'm just putting a few blobs on. Nearly dropped it then. I'm getting the bubble wrappy side, and I'm just going to sort of spread those around. Yay! I'm not bothered if some goes on to the next page. Normally I would have covered that up, but I've left it open because, like I say, I'm going to do something that complements it tomorrow. And then this is Deco Art acrylic paint. I'm just going to put a few blobs of that on. And the reason I like doing this sort of thing is this stamping around with bubble wrap and different things is because I do like texture. And that is why the other day when I did it off the jelly sheet, my paint off the jelly sheet, it was because I like the texture. So there we go. That's nice. I like that. So I'll just leave that to dry, and then I will use it again. I've got some mica sprays in these little sprays here. I'm just going to spray those on. We'll get some glossy off that. And then I'm going to get my dryer, and I'm just going to dry this. Give it a shake. You probably can't see that as... Oh yeah, you should be able to see it like I'm seeing it. Right, that's enough. I've dried that off now. There is a little sheen to it. Can you see that? Is it picking up the sheen? Oh, I think it is because of the mica spray. Yes, you can see that. And there's still some bits that need to dry as well. But I've actually got some green mica spray. I've not got much of this left. And I'm just going to spray a little bit on the bottom here. Well, it's actually dripping, which is quite nice. And that is just to sort of represent the leaves. That's nice. So I'm just going to dry that now. Green mica spray is dried, you can see it there. So that gives me a really lovely background to work on. So I have these napkins, which I love. When I I always refer to an advert that I saw when I was a little girl, and it was a flake chocolate advert. I don't know if you know Cadbury's flake. And she was sat in the field painting wildflowers in the field. This beautiful, who I thought was such beautiful, beautiful woman. And she was painting the wildflowers, and I couldn't get over how sort of beautiful I thought she was. And while she was painting the wildflowers, it started to rain. So the big drops of rain landed on a picture. And but the artwork was still so beautiful, even with the big raindrops. So I do like that raindroppy look. I did a whole journal. Well, I've done a few journals sort of based on that raindroppy look. So I like this napkin because, to me, you've sort of got that raindroppy, I don't know, feeling about these flowers. And what I like to do when I decoupage anything is I do use a dry glue stick first. And I put the dry on, the dry glue stick. And then I can just position my napkin exactly where I want it to be, which is in line at the bottom there. Put it on. And then I take my Mod Podge, which is in this little vintage Shippums, I think it's Shippums paste pot. There's not much in there. And I'm literally just going to paint that on. So start at the middle and work outwards. Okie dokie, so there we go. I bet I'm cheating a little bit, aren't I, really, by giving it drying time, but there's just no way you could do this in without some drying time. It's different if you were just painting, but when you're using different mediums. Right, I've got one of my favourite stencils here. I can't remember where I got this from, and I've got just the Speckled Egg Distress Oxide from Ranger. I just want to just add a little bit of blue to what will potentially be the sky in my hazy, crazy pink summertime page. So I'm just going around pushing that oxide into my page. I do love doing things like this because you never really know what's going to happen, do you, underneath? Does it remind you of when you were at school? And at primary school, and the teacher would put all things on your desk, and you'd no idea in your head what you're going to make. You know, when your table was full of boxes and paper and tissue paper and glue and scissors and sequins, and you just sort of went for it, didn't you? You'd absolutely no inhibitions. But what turned out at the end was usually it was either a hot mess or a very, very nice piece of artwork. Well, you thought it was. Parents may have had a different idea. Let's have a look. There. Oh, that looks nice. I like that. I'm just going to add a few more just to bring it, you know, in around the edge. I brought it down onto this napkin as well, just to bring the sides together. There we go. Let's move that. You see that there? Lovely. I really do like that. And now I've got some butterflies that I'd like to put on, because in my garden I have got, again, I could cut these out if I wanted to using water, but I just like the really torn sort of effect. So this is just a napkin out of my stash. But I've sort of got 2 tiers at my back garden that my husband made for me. And the bottom tier is like a, not like one, it is a herbaceous border. And the top tier, like the back tier, is wildflower turf. So this year we've had so many butterflies and bees. It's been absolutely lovely to sit outside in the summer and, you know, to see them all. And I've just been watching about the decline honeybee population on the news, and that makes me feel really sad. So I'm just going to pop some of these on. So I'm going to put the larger ones sort of at the front, just to give some sort of, what's the word? What is the word I'm looking for? Perspective. Yeah, perspective, that's the word. That is the word. Now, if you don't like your paper crinkled, you know, from your decoupaging, you can always just go over it with sandpaper, sanding block or something, just to get that perspective in there. Not perspective, I'm got perspective on the brain now. It's because I was thinking of this little tiny butterfly. Sand it to get the smoothness. I don't know what's happened to me, but since menopause, I never know my words. When I do know the right word, I say the wrong word. I can't seem to multitask as well as I used to do. My brain just gets confused. Oh dear. There we go. I'm just tearing the layers off the back. There we go. There we go. So we'll put this one up here. So just get my Mod Podge, and I'll top my Mod Podge jar up there, and I'll just paint over those. I've loved sitting out in the summer watching all the insects and my flowers. It's been lovely. And now that my little sun deck's finished on this art studio, now that I can just look outside from sitting in my armchair, you know, if it was a bit cold, I can sit and have a look out. It's lovely. It's absolutely lovely. There we go. I could put other insects on, but it's having the time. So that's all my decoupaging done. Let me just turn off, and I'll let me cheat again now. I'm just dry. Sorry, I'm just covering up that Mod Podge. There we go. Let me just dry this off. So what I guess I'm demonstrating here to you as well is that you don't have to be a fine artist. Now let's try this printing again. I've revitalised my black ink here, and I'm using a solid ink pad. Let's see if we can get a good print. So this is my archival ink. This is by Inka Dinkadoo. Never heard of them. But let's pop these on. There's one. I'm almost right to take it off. Oh, that's really good. Yes, so you were right, Wendy. I just needed to ink up my Refresh and Robin. I just needed to ink up my pad. And put another one on here. That one's nice as well. I want to put another. I'm going to put another up there. I'm going to put the other one up there. Carol as well, you were right. Carol said it looks as though I just need to refresh this ink pad, and you're absolutely right. So thank you for that advice. There we go. So that archival ink should dry pretty quickly. So I've got my These are just some watercolours that I got from Hobby Lobby in the sale with the little brush. Here's my water. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to paint in those stamps. Because, no, I'm not very good at painting flowers and things, but I am okay at painting within stamps, etc. So I'm just going to pick out my colours. I'll just get my little piece of cloth. And I'm just going to start to paint inside. I think the reason that I really did like the advert with the rain splodging on the painting, and I thought the paint that I was talking about earlier, I think I saw the beauty in that paint splodge work and thought, well, actually, you don't have to be a perfect artist, perfect fine artist. You don't have to do a Mona Lisa to make beautiful artwork. So here we go. I even struggle sometimes painting within the lines, but I am rushing because I'm just conscious of this only having this 30 minutes. This 30-minute pressure that I'm under. Let's moisten those all down. So I think these will be the colours that I'm mainly using. Can you see I'm not really too bothered about changing my brush and things in between. I'm just going for it. Oh, there's my husband coughing. That means he's telling me he's on his way to football. I'll see you later. I hope they win. I say that every time and they're not. I don't know if you follow football, but Bolton Wanderers, they're not really the best in the country. But, you know, he's supported them for a long, long time. A long time. So he's a fan and he enjoys going, and that's the important thing, isn't it? Let's get some brighter colour, brighter of the pinks and oranges, and just sort of bring those in. That's pretty. I think one of the things that when I did this art course recently, one of the things that I learned is that I sort of was holding my pencil and paintbrushes too tight. I was sort of holding them down here and tight, you know, like you would do a pencil when you, take a bit off there, like you would do a pencil when you write. Well, I do. So I was holding them a little bit like that. And so the artist who I was working with said, you know, just loosen your grip, work from your wrist, and enjoy what you're doing. That's what I'm trying to do now. Yeah, I'm pleased with these. I'm trying to sort of work across, because I'm using different colours of wet paint. I'm trying not to have the colours next to each other because I don't want them to go brown. Trying to work out what's here, because this bit is on the other part of the napkin where I can't see it 100%. Oh well, can only do my best, can't I? So what I'm going to do now is bring in some lighter colour. I'm going to bring in some of this golden yellow. And I'm just going to sort of put some little bits on there. When you do paint, when you put your watercolour, one thing I have learned is that the watercolours do go lighter. So don't be afraid thinking, oh, that's just so dark. You know, it will lighten up. I think they're like the lilies, those, aren't they? I absolutely adore lilies. When I'd been away for the week on this art retreat, I came home and my husband had put a big bouquet of lilies in the bedroom. It's lovely. The smell was delicious. Absolutely delicious. Just bring a little bit of this lighter orange. You see, I've got a cloth in my hand as well, so if I feel I've got too much paint on, I can just use the cloth. So I'm just sort of doing some little highlighted accents now on my flowers. I think that is, I thought it was a leaf. It's actually part of the flower. The other thing you can do, I've seen artists do, is just spray the flowers, spray the paints as well. And you can go back and just keep adding layers. Oh, hello, Tara. It's my pussycat hiding there. She's learned how to get into my desk. So she opens the door of my beautiful Victorian desk and gets in the cupboard there. So some nights I'm thinking sort of, where is Tara? I'm going to do these sort of dotty now. These are gladioli, I think. So I'll think, where is Tara? Anyway, then I've come in the morning and she's sat in here. And I've thought, well, I've checked the craft room. So where's she hiding anyway? She can open the cupboard door and she gets in the cupboard door and it automatically swings to behind her. No, she's not clever enough to shut it. So I hadn't noticed that she was in there. Oh, I like that. I do like that. I'm just going to put a little bit of this red on there as well. Oh, in fact, no, I'm not. There's this lovely little sort of burgundy down here. Oh, let's put a bit of burgundy on. Let's add a bit of a different colour. Yeah, these watercolours were on the sale price at Hobby Lobby recently. So I thought, I'll have them. That's nice. I'm just adding some little burgundy speckles onto there. I love painting inside stamps because, well, I just do. I'm not happy. I think I need to add a bit more pink up here. A little bit more pink. And then I'm going to pop some green on. My daughter's not very well, so we've got my daughter's dog staying with us. So my dog, who's the elder dog, is like, I think she's in charge. Well, she's in charge because she's the senior one. But she's like a mum to her, you know, telling her what she can and can't do, which I love. Right, I'm going to put some greens on now. So let's moisten up my greens. The little spray canister, these, and you get these off Amazon. I do normally have some water in, if I'm watercolour painting, I would put some water in those. And then you could just spray your watercolours. So now I need to find my leaves. And I'm just coming down my leaves. Also need to come down the stalks of the flowers. I can't see any inside the gladioli, so I'm just sort of putting some in there. Let's get this lighter green as well. Just put some lighter green in. Yes, I do like this smudged watercolour look. Right, put some green on here. So calming and relaxing. I've had a really quite a hectic day. Got some stuff going on at home, and had a bit of a family emergency occur on Monday. No, Tuesday, yesterday. Only yesterday, but it feels like Monday. So it's just sort of taken up quite a bit of my time. So for my hubby to go out tonight, my son's gone to Wales for a few days, camping with his friends. My middle daughter, well, my eldest daughter doesn't live here. My middle daughter is gone to a boyfriend, so I'm just got the house to myself. So I've come into the garden to my craft room, and I'm just actually really enjoying being here. It's a nice summer evening. You can see that golden glow outside, and it's lovely. In fact, I should be drinking a nice Pimm's or something and just be sat out there. Perhaps I will do after. So there we go. That is like a cheats watercolour painting. How to cheat at watercolours. So I've not forgotten about that golden glow. Just going to put a little bit of green on these plants. Not a lot. I don't want it to look like she's gone crazy with the green. But you know, on like the base of some of these flowers. That's some of the shading. This is where you have to sort of be light. So be light and then press on. Right. There we go. So I'm going to do the deed. Yes, I'm going to dry it. I'll not be a second. Okie dokie, tell me if I'm cheating, Miss Robin. If I am, I'm sorry. But you know, I needed to. And I forgive myself. I'm sure you can forgive me. Right, so the golden glow. Because sitting in my armchair, looking out, I'm just looking out the window now. All of my plants just sort of do this beautiful merging in together. And it's absolutely, I think it's quite stunning. So I need to get the golden glow. So what I'm doing, dry glue stick, I'm just running it on my page. I'm just running it on. What is she doing, you may say? So now I've got some of the printer foil. I love printer foil. And in fact, I'm going to use a new bit. So shiny side up and literally put it on. And it will stick where the dry glue is. Can you see that? And what a difference it, you know, just brings to your page. You can use as little or as much of this as you want to do. So this is printer foil. I like this in these rolls because they actually do work out cheaper than buying the little squares. It's got another name. When it's those little squares, it's got another name, which I can't remember what that is either. Because I buy the printer foil. And although to buy a roll might seem a little bit more expensive, it actually lasts so much longer. So you can add as much or as little as this as you want to do. I'm going to put some more on down here. And I want some more up here. And around here. You can see where it's coming off on the foil. This foil lasts ages and ages and ages. Got quite a few different colours of it now. I started off just with golden green because I think it was Christmas that I bought it. Would have been, that's why I started off with golden green. But now I've got quite a nice collection. There we go. Now I think that that is a beautiful piece of artwork. We've got different techniques, different painting techniques. We've got different textures. We've got decoupage on there. We've got foiling. We've got watercolour paints. Now I've got my Distress Oxide blue ink sketch. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go around the edge of my page. Now I'm not going to go down the middle because I am going to extend this onto this side maybe tomorrow. So I'm just going around the edge there. Now some of this does go on to other pages. Does it really matter? Not to me, it doesn't, because ultimately it's an art journal, so it doesn't really matter, no. And there we are. I think I'll just call it the Crazy Hazy Days of Summer. So what do you think? Do you like that? Please let me know. Comments in the box below. And I'll see you tomorrow, which will officially be my day 3. I think it's about day 5 for most other people, but my day 3. So see you tomorrow. So please comment, please subscribe. That'd be absolutely wonderful. Bye bye.